Good morning, warriors. Hope everyone is doing well on this day. Today is the Marine Corps birthday. As everybody knows, Marine-centric focus, talking about warriors and different, being a Marine ourselves is always always an exciting opportunity to talk about things. So what I wanted to do here is give you into an area that we're going to be spending a lot of time coming up here in the future, and that tavern. The Teufelshunden Tavern is a World War I think speaker by showing you how we enter into the tavern. So we go into a special code on the door, and we are greeted by the tavern to look World War I, around the time of World War I. So we're going to be getting more into the details of the Teufelshunden Tavern here shortly. I've been working on for several years to collect different products. It's like John, thank you so much for joining us home in Beaufort. Very, very impressive. And thank you for your service in the, a warrior's a warrior, no matter where you come from, what you do, as long as you to grow, that makes you a warrior. So, soldiers, sailors, and Marines, certainly warriors, but we can also have other different types of warriors. Time in the Army, John. The way the room starts out is here we have the Chateau Thierry sector for the Marines, and the Marines over here, and they lined up here outside the town of Belleau, and they got the entrenched Germans that were here, fought through the ferocity, and eventually they were able to help protect. And then here you have the Marne River. So for those of you familiar with the U.S. Army's, this would be the Marne, and the 3rd Infantry were basically around this area, and they were called the Rock of the Marne because they protected within that area. So in the woods, you may be familiar with this poster here, a very famous painting of showing the brutalness of battling when they were hand-to-hand combat. To see some of the hand-to-hand combat, these are some original pictures, and I apologize for the glare here. See what's left over of the Germans that were on the wrong side, the Marines. Here you can see again areas of the bomb craters. These are some dead and dying literally a couple days after the battle. And then over here you can see of the retreating Germans. Moving original newspaper article from the New York Times. This was actually talked about fighting in Belleau Woods. So you can see here Belleau Woods, and you can see here historic, and it says the brilliant victory in the woods. And I apologize for the first around. But moving on, this special chair for me. This was my grandfather's chair, who was actually during the time of World War I. He had a medical deferment, if it's my understanding. I got a matching leather chair there. So this was back in the early 1900s. He was in Northern Kentucky area, and this is the chair that he sat in and worked out. Special to have that. Here's some of the original covers. This is World War I era cover. You can tell by the Eagle Globe and the latitude and longitude lines that were on there. You can see here I'm falling apart, but it's still intact with the original head suspension. Over here is an original field cover, again noticing the Eagle Globe and anchor with lines. And then this is a recent gift from a dear friend of mine who is an active duty drill instructor, showing you the similarities between the two. Over here we have dress cover and a dress cover, officer cover. You can tell by the quarter foil here on top. That's how the Marines differentiate the officers from the enlisted when they were off on the crow's nest on top of the ships. This is kind of a fun thing here. This was a bandana that I brought with me back when I was 18 years old. Had Marines at all the different embassies sign it and wish me good wish. Probably my favorite thing here in the cellar, and this is the original, one of the original recruiting posters. This is where we got the iconic, and then down here is an original poster from 1919, again starting to perpetuate our tradition of being called Devil Dog. Over here is a mannequin dressed authentic replica, if that's a word, authentic replica. But this is what I wear when I'm in approximately once a month and march with the newest Marines as they finish the last couple miles of the about honor, courage, and commitment, and the historical the Marines that went before them and the traditions that they're carrying on. So everything on here Lee produced, from the wool to the buttons to the gas mask, the rifle, and I even have a replica. It's actually a real handgun, but this is Colt actually made run of the original 1911 .45 caliber handgun that to this day is still dangerous at all because it's such a great weapon. Here is the Tueffelhunden Tavern poster. Into here, anytime we have Marines over, we have to celebrate, or any other war, take this into the wine cellar here. So here we have anybody that comes down here to Hilton Head and visits to check out. Moving on, we get to the other area, and that is our bourbon bar here, guarded, of course, by our Devil Dog, being the Marine Corps birthday. And we have a couple different bottles of some other types of fun things on this beautiful hand-carved bar called the Lion's Head Bar. And moving on, we have a studio over here that I've temporarily set up. We're going to have some really big, exciting news about this, where we announce a very exciting event for Warrior Academy. I'll give this equipment here does have something to do with it. But again, you can see another one of the original Marine posters. This was our response, I guess you could say, to the Uncle Sam Army. Over here, another Marine Corps emblem. Again, this is not an emblem, it is a device. This I think is kind of interesting because we have a matching set here of the Marines, and what's interesting is they try to show you all the fun things that you get when you join the Marine Corps, including the opportunity to play football and climb up walls and having a nice stop for lunch. And I kind of signed up thinking that's what it was going to be. Didn't quite turn out the same way. Favorite posters in the collection is to the Marines, what I love is just captures civilians and the call to arms that we needed to do as warriors. And talking about the sinking of the Lusitania. What's interesting is overall ad from the Saturday evening of we tell it to the Marines, we told it to the Marines, and I think it's kind of cool. Moving on to some other posters here. This one is by James Montgomery, guy that did the famous "We Want You" for the U.S. Army, and then we'll wrap up statue of Iron Mike. For those of you that make it down to Parris Island, you'll get a chance to see the original Iron Mike statue. So with that, today we're obviously spending a little time talking about the history of the Marines and the history of World War I. We'll be going on a little bit more about the history of the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, and even the Space Force. Talking about all the different everyday warriors, those of you that choose to view that have had hardship and adversity in your life and how you overcome it, and about the exciting opportunity that's going to be coming up December 12th. So please check back Warrior Academy. If you haven't already joined our Warrior Academy Facebook group, please do information and some giveaways and things that we've got over there. And with that, brothers and sisters, I say Semper Fidelis and happy birthday, and to all the other warriors that are forward to catching again here soon.